Let's see.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Kyle Randolph here with my friend Isaiah Torres. Welcome to the 70213 Lakers podcast. Vegas covering LA. LA Lakers, your champions. So, gonna get right into this episode with some updates. We talked about it a bit last episode, but to bring it up again, LeBron James suggested a joint parade for the Dodgers and Lakers. It's amazing that both the LA teams won. Like, I saw some statistics saying this is the first time a baseball and a basketball team that's in the same city won the championship. So that's very cool for LA. I know Kobe liked the Dodgers too. So awesome. Great tributes to Kobe. Lakers won, Dodgers won. It's like it was meant to be.
Yeah. I can't really remember the last time a city that had pro sports won multiple championships in the same season. I really can't think of any off the top of my head, but I do know this is the first time off my memory it happened since 1988 when the Lakers and Dodgers both won that year. So this is the first time it's happened in over 30 years. The crazy thing about this past World Series between the Rays and the Dodgers is no matter who won that World Series, either LA or Tampa Bay was gonna have that title.
I saw that. That was a crazy stat.
Because Lightning won in the NHL, so that would have been really cool for if either team would have won.
I forgot when it was the most recent year, but I know the Patriots and the Bruins shared a year rather recently, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know about that.
I know it's the first baseball, basketball in a while.
And then what do you call it? I don't know which city is closest to Tampa Bay, but I mean, if Miami would have won the finals, that would have been 3 teams for Florida.
Right. This year was crazy.
It was crazy, but no, yeah. Joint parade, it would definitely be a big party. It's unfortunate, like I said, it really sucks. It's most likely not gonna happen. I don't want to lie to myself and say it could happen. But
yeah, it's for the safety of the people as well.
Yeah, because it's going to be a huge party. And obviously, the smaller the number of people, the better in these times. Yeah. But, yeah, a joint parade would be really awesome. I know I would probably do whatever I could to be there.
You can't really limit the amount of people there. They could try for social distancing measures, but those fans are passionate, man.
Yeah, the only thing you could hope is if everybody wears a mask, right? But, for the most part, that will be the case. But, there's always going to be those people who don't want to wear the mask and probably won't. So that's probably what the deal breaker would be, is the fact that, everybody's not going to obey to the rules.
Yeah, I don't think they have the parade. I don't think they go through with it, sadly. But
it would be awesome. It would be awesome.
It would be. It's for the safety of the people, so I don't mean sadly as it, you know what I mean. It's sad that they don't get to have a parade. I'm not saying it's sad that they're going to ignore COVID. No, it's a good thing to be safe. So we're going to move on. So Isaiah's got an update with us for the NBA season. You did your research on this one. Take it away.
Oh, it became news earlier today that tomorrow, Thursday, player reps for each team will be part of the player association. We'll be meeting with the NBA to see if they could come to an agreement on a plan to start the next season, 2020-2021, for December 22nd. So it'll be a few days before Christmas, and that will include some national televised games on Christmas. So it looks like, according to ESPN and other sources, that is where it seems like most likely there will be an agreement. Although you never could be too sure. because I know a lot of people from the Player Association, they're not really liking a Christmas start. We heard about it recently from LeBron saying maybe he won't even play beginning, or Danny Green said that, maybe look for the star players to not even play, like including LeBron. I know LeBron made a joke on his special episode of The Shop with Barack Obama that premiered not too long ago. He said maybe he'll just cherry pick the first few months of the season to save his legs on defense. But we will see what happens tomorrow. Like I said, Thursday, NBA Board of Governors and the Player Association and player representatives from each team will meet. But according to ESPN, they're saying that they think it's going to come to an agreement where we'll have, obviously, and I know we're going to touch on it, but the draft will be in 2 weeks, November 18th, and then free agency and training camps will open up on December 1st, which is a very quick turnaround. The season ended about a month ago. Rookies are going to get drafted on the 18th, and then you're looking for them to start training camp right away with the season officially starting a little bit over a month from when they're going to get drafted. So a really quick turnaround. They are saying that they are looking to start the season with no fans in attendance, but hoping to have some fans enter the arenas a little bit after the beginning of the season. So maybe, I don't know if that's a few months going into it. And also I want to point out, before I forget as well, this detail. So it would be a 72-game season. I want to make sure that's right. Yeah, 72. So 10 less than normal. 72-game season that will look to finish right before the Summer Olympics in mid-July. If all goes well to plan. Which might be another factor as to why players might not want to do it. I don't know, though, because, usually the Olympics, USA Basketball has the biggest stars play for the Olympic team. You usually see the big names play. And then when it's the FIBA World Cup, like those smaller games, the big all-star players usually sit out and let the other guys take those, right? But the Olympics, that's when you have the big name guys. You have LeBron, you have AD, you have, I'm talking about KD and all those guys.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what happens tomorrow. But
it will.
It's
interesting.
It looks like it's going to lead to an approval, but we shall see. We shall see.
Yeah, my take on that is it's too early for the players to play, even with a shortened season. But they don't have a choice. It's got to go like that. You can't have the season end too late. I mean, you could, but they just don't want to for whatever reason to mess up a consistent rotation for the future. They like how they're doing it and how they have done it. So as much as I'm against it, I do feel so bad for these players. They can't get any time off. And what you said, like the Olympic stuff like that, like a lot of them spend some of their off season doing that. Now they barely even have an off season.
It's very tough. It's very tough because it's the owners that's pushing this, right? Because they understand that they lost so much money in the past year. The virus caused everyone to lose money, right? And it sucks because the owners they're the ones that are pushing for this early start because they're trying to make as much money as they could. Obviously, I feel like the less money the NBA makes, that kind of channels down to how much less money the players are making as well, right? So it's tough because they got to find that in between balance. I mean, we all seen this major when it came to the MLB trying to make that agreement a few months back. They were talking about so many different back and forth arguments where it was, the players getting paid like half of their salary or a quarter of the salary because a chunk of the season was already gone. I forgot the amount of salary that they agreed to, but as we all know, they ended up playing 60 games, which is a lot more or less than was it 162?
Way less.
So yeah, I don't know. Well, it's interesting times because everyone wants to be happy here, but obviously the virus makes things complicated.
Yeah, the Players Association, the NBA has more power than any other sport, though. So maybe, but reports are it's going to get approved. I already said my take on it. I don't see what else they could do. I feel
Yeah.
so bad for the players, but there's just nothing else. I can't think of a better option.
No, I mean,
So
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I know it looks like the players really were trying to go for MLK. And
that would be
I mean,
interesting.
that is just another month later. What's 1 month, I guess, but yeah, I guess for the players' sake, I would think another month would be a little bit easier, right? Because you got the rookies getting drafted in November, mid-November. They give them more
train more.
time. You get, what I mean. So I would think January would be better, but hey, I don't.
We don't know the ins and outs of
Yeah,
their business as a business
I mean,
perspective.
yeah,
That does sound good, though. They could still even do summer league in time,
yeah. They might
right?
be. Yeah, I mean,
'Cause
summer league usually is like
even a month later,
10 days. Yeah, so what's 2 weeks? You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean
yeah,
that's a good point. Um, it might be a little bit more of a squeeze, but it's something they could possibly do.
yeah. So speaking of the rookies, as we mentioned,
Yeah.
you said a later start date would give them more time to rest, but that's most likely not going to happen. They're already going to get dressed and be practicing basketball already. So the big question is, what teams will they go to and how will they fit? Franchise gotcha, we're going to talk about that. So for the drafts, a lot of mock drafts have what me and Isaiah said off air. A lot of them are really similar. Like the toss-ups are like the top 5 picks, top 3 to 5. And the rest are practically the same.
Yeah, basically 1, 2, and 3 is a mix-up. I've been looking at different mock drafts. After the third pick, a lot of it's the same, whether it's Bleacher Report, Fox Sports, CBS Sports, even ESPN. But the top 3 is always a big mix-up. Right now, I'm looking at a Bleacher Report in their latest mock draft that came out about 4 hours ago, so very recent. They have Melo getting picked first by Minnesota.
Really?
I literally looked at a mock draft like a day or two ago by I think it was CBS Sports. They had Anthony Edwards going number 1.
I'm
So
on CBS right now. That's what I'm seeing.
it's so many different toss-ups in there for those top 3 picks. After that, it's kind of the same. But I know a big rumor going around right now is that came out a few days ago or earlier this week was about Melo and his interviews with several teams. I guess they didn't like his answers. Apparently, his interviews didn't go too well. So they're saying there's a possibility that he might drop out of the top 5. I don't know how true that is, though. And then that kind of plays into the Knicks factor, because I know the Knicks really want Melo, and there's also been rumors about them trying to trade up out of that 8th spot to go up to get a higher pick in the draft. So
Possible.
I don't know. We'll see.
There's so many possibilities. I'm gonna say my predictions, but I know I'm gonna be off. Most likely, I'm gonna just say it for the top 3. I agree with Edwards going number 1 to the Timberwolves. I think they need that kind of player more. I mean, if they drafted Wiseman, I know they already have Cat as a big man, so it's like having. And I know Cat plays power. I get it, but you're still gonna need to find a genuine guard to really get the ball around. So I don't see them going with anything else other than
real fast, Kyle. My bad. Sorry about that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Hold on.
You're good. So what I was saying though, I see the Timberwolves going with Edwards, and the reason for that is because they already got Cat, a big man, and a shooting guard along with a big man pairs a lot better together than 2 big men. So that's what I say they're going to do. Number 2. Sorry.
No, you're good. I just want to quickly say I think I agree that Minnesota. I feel like maybe Edwards is the best possible option here too as well, because he's just a pure scorer. So I agree with you. You go ahead and say what you think could go down to number 2 though.
Okay, yeah, we'll just trade off every pick. So number 2, this one is tough. I don't even have a clear answer for this. if they're not trading it, I say they go with Wiseman. They need a big man more than any other position. So when Steph and Clay come back, they're still going to have Steph, Clay, Dre. So they need a dominant center. Draymond's not really that kind of power forward. Like, I know I said that two big men wouldn't work out with the Timberwolves, but Cat is the scoring leader on that team typically. But, Draymond's not that. He's kind of a playmaking power forward, playmaking and defense almost. So Wiseman will fit in just fine.
I agree with Wiseman going to Golden State as well because they got the shooters already, right? You got Steph and Clay. I think what they do lack is that big man because I know everyone knows they were known for the scoring. They're shooting the most, but when it comes to big man play, I think they needed Bogut there, right? They needed I'm blanking on the other guys right now, but like David West or Maurice Bates or Kevon Looney, right? But when you add in James Wiseman, who's a big man, but he would also do damage like offensively rather than just being a big force. I think it helps your offense a lot. He could do multiple things when it comes to offensive game. It's really sad because we really didn't see too much of what he could do in the collegiate level. He only played like 3 games this season, but I really think he'll complement the rest of the offense probably the best. I know a lot of people want to see Melo on that team. It would be really exciting to see like 3 of those guys who could shoot the ball really well on the same offense together, but I would have to go with Wiseman as well. I think he complements the offense a little bit better.
He does. He fits in more. And my logic here too is with Melo, because they have Curry who's doing so well, they're getting a backup. That's too. I mean, I know the Rockets is small ball, but I don't think they're going to go small ball and put him in small forward. I really don't. He's not that kind of. He's not a small forward. Simple. He's just not that kind of player. I haven't seen that much of him. Nobody really has outside of what he did when he was not in college, when he was overseas. But
yeah,
he doesn't seem like that kind of player that could be a guard and a forward easily. He just doesn't. I don't see him fitting in as a small forward to that team at all. So that's my thing. If the Warriors don't trade it, they're getting Wiseman. I'll get into trading the pick and doing other moves to get a center later, though. So for the number 3 pick, this one's tough, but I got to go with LaMelo. I know there's rumors saying he might fall out of even the top 5, but some projections still have him in the top 3. I'm going to go with Melo here. It just makes sense. This team needs a new point guard after losing Kemba. He's a playmaker. And it's like, since, they've been tanking so long, they need a fresh start. There's nearly no better way to start fresh than a playmaking point guard. And he's the highest odds of that right now, by far. Like, on the mock draft that I'm seeing right now, the next 2-3 picks are centers and forwards. So I say it has to go here. When you tank, you're trying to build a new team. A playmaking point guard is what you need. It's kind of like a shooting Ben Simmons, if that happens. I'm not saying that's what he will become. Because, man, we don't know. We haven't seen that much basketball. We just don't know. What do you got to say about that, Isaiah?
Yeah, so once again, I apologize about, having to, kind of step out a little bit right there. But I wanted to expand on why I thought, because it kind of goes into the Charlotte pick as well. To expand more on why I thought Minnesota is probably better off with Anthony Edwards is because in Minnesota, you already have a ball handler in D'Angelo Russell. And it's kind of tricky because I think – so technically D'Angelo Russell is a point guard, but he's known to shoot a lot too. And that's kind of what Melo will probably be too as well. Well, we both know he's really gifted, like passing as well. Very gifted, but his scoring prowess is, really great as well. I don't know. We'll see how they work together. Like, I'm trying to imagine if they work together on the floor, and I'm not too sure. You know what I mean? They could complement each other, but it's tough to tell. And that's why I had like them picking Edwards instead. Because I think he's more just the shooter, scorer, right? I think he would probably complement D'Angelo a lot more. And then also you got Karl Anthony Towns down there as well. Can't really think about who else Minnesota has other than that. And then you skip to the third pick, and you got Charlotte there. I feel like they got to pick Melo because he's just the highest ceiling available after that. I necessarily don't want Charlotte to have Melo. I'd rather have him go to Chicago. But if you're looking at who's still there and it's Melo, you got to think Charlotte's going to take him. They got Devontae Graham there, who did have a case for most improved this past season. So they kind of have that point guard somewhat established. But it would be pretty exciting to see what Melo could do as a point guard when you have other guys who could possibly shoot. And that's the problem is Charlotte, throughout the past few years, they built up their roster with guys who have the potential to be really good scorers, but they're kind of inconsistent, very streaky. That's including Malik Monk, streaky, great shooter from Kentucky. Like when he's on fire. And but that was the issue is you don't really know. And then you have Dwayne Bacon, really also a very underrated scorer out of Florida State. I think it's his second or third year. He's someone who I think injuries kind of is his issue. But when he's healthy, he could really put the ball in the bucket. And then someone who in my opinion is very inconsistent but could be a highlight reel player is Bridges. You know what I'm talking about?
I've seen him in some highlight reels, man. Like I've seen him play. He is on or off.
Yeah, I can't remember his first name right now, but with Bridges out of no, not Mikal. I'm talking.
No, my bad. Yeah.
But Bridges out of Michigan State. Very like Miles. Thank you. Yeah.
Miles, my bad. Mikal.
He's very exciting player. Left-handed. He's known to throw it down, dunk. It's just very consistent play. If those guys hopefully improve, right? Because that's the name of the game with all these NBA players. And they say it time and time again. It's not getting into the league; it's staying in the league. And if they're doing their job and steadily improving year after year, hopefully they're more consistent. And then you have Melo dishing the ball like that. That could be a fun, exciting team. They won't really do any damage, I don't think, but it could be fun. Yeah, the reason why I say I wanted Melo to drop to 4 to Chicago, because that would be really fun. Him, Lauri Markkanen, and Zach LaVine. Just imagine a Melo lob to Zach LaVine.
That would be fun.
That's why I really love for him to go down to Chicago. But
the question is, though, I don't think that'll happen. But if it does get to that point, it may seem ridiculous for Chicago to do this, but do they pass up? Because they need defense. They can score. Markkanen's solid at scoring. LaVine, he can score. He's not that much of a defender. And Wendell Carter, they drafted him. He was hurt for a lot of years, but that's a start on the defense. Do you think they really take Melo or they pick up on the defense?
I think they got to pick Melo because it's one of those things where they are the best, like, high ceiling player available still on the board.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if he fits in your team or not at that point. He's just
because that's usually the curse with being the number one pick is like sometimes when you go into the draft and the lottery, you're trying to fix what you're missing. So you're trying to pick up on something you're missing. But that's kind of the curse about having the number one pick is you throw it out the window and you usually have to get the best player that has the highest ceiling. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of like Suns getting DeAndre Ayton. Like he was like the biggest ceiling player. He was the man, right? And going into that draft, that's kind of like the best, one of the prime examples I could think of. Also another one, very controversial to this day, but 2007, Blazers picked Greg Oden over KD. KD was a scoring machine. Texas, I don't remember how they did, like how far their season went, but what Greg Oden did at Ohio State was really magical as well. I mean, he was a beast, kind of playing like a man amongst boys, going all the way to the national championship game. And I remember back then, I thought them picking Greg Oden was a better choice too. Because I mean, I didn't
I think
think
everyone, not everyone, but I think a lot of people did. Damn
a
near
lot
the
of people
majority.
did. Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to see KD's workout for Portland, but maybe if I would have saw it, because they said it was one of the best draft workouts of all time, and they had him really thinking about it. But at the end of the day, they ended up still picking Odin. I remember when Damian Lillard came around several years later, the Blazers front office people, they said Lillard gave him the best pre-draft workout they've ever seen since KD's. So, and that was why they picked him. So, like a fifth or I think they picked him sixth in the draft was because they saw what he could do, like right in front of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's tough, man. It's tough. It's a gift and a curse getting that number one pick because, like I said, sometimes you got to throw that out the window about what you need. You got to get with the highest ceiling player in front of you. You know what I mean? Because
that makes sense. I agree with that.
it's tough because you never know what's going to happen. Injuries may occur. Also, like the Luka Doncic situation. Yeah. If he would have played in America, he probably would have been the number one pick.
I still don't see why he wasn't. That's for a debate another time, but I really don't see why he wasn't. He won MVP in the Euro Leagues. I gotta guess it was because he wasn't in America, and also because the guy who the Knicks drafted the year before him, I don't know how to say his last name, but Frank Knit something. He was the big dude from Europe the year before, playing championship game, up there for MVP. The Knicks drafted him, and look where he's at. He still hasn't done anything for the Knicks. So I think I'm just saying that's two different guys, but you're looking at that situation the year before, and then you're seeing this Luka guy who also was really young too. You're just not sure, right? Because you didn't see him play in front of you in the States. Yeah, it's different. It's different. So moving on from the draft, we're going to talk about the Lakers, what the show's all about. Free agency's approaching. In a future episode, we'll talk about who they should target. But for now, me and Isaiah are going to talk about their unrestricted free agents that they should keep or let go. We're going to say what we think will happen and why. So we're just going to go back and forth on this. Okay. This one will not take time. Anthony Davis, staying. Yeah, staying. Sign into a big one. So, Danny Green. That one, I think he leaves. I think he leaves because actually I don't know. Now I think originally I would say he wants to go to the team that's going to pay him the money, but I don't know if a lot of teams are going to be confident in him after the performance he did this past season. Yeah, so, and by the way, he's not an unrestricted free agent. That's my bad. Okay. They have contracts that go through at least next season. So trade or buyout options are there for him, but I think he'll stay. I think they value him a lot. Well, if he's signed on till next year, then yeah, he'll stay for sure. All right, next one, Avery Bradley. He's been so quiet, but I say he chases money. Yeah, I think so too. The Lakers just won without him too, so the Lakers let him go. We agree on that. Unfortunately, I see him probably leaving too. Yeah. How about Caldwell Pope? What are we thinking here? Has his value increased enough because the playoffs for a team to pay him? I think he stays. Really? Because he's been on this team for a while. And you think the Lakers are going to do whatever they can? He's up there. He's next to like Kuzma and Caruso as the longest tenured player on that team. He's been on that team since I want to say 2017. So he's gone through the bad seasons too. I could see him sticking around, especially after the way he played in the finals towards the end, really stepping it up on every level, especially defensively in their offense. I see him staying. I think he sees that they can win a few more. That's true. I actually agree. I don't want to agree too much. I wanted to get some debate going, but I agree because he's one of the best unrestricted free agent players they have. Yeah. So here's the next one, because this may alter your previous decision. Dwight Howard. Who knows what in the world happens with him? Sorry. Question mark.
No, I would say that's my biggest question mark for me. I'm still trying to think about that one.
Because one thing I said I'd talk about it later about the Warriors if they trade the pick or not.
Mm.
If they trade the pick, they could pay Dwight Howard to be their center.
Mm.
They really can. He can't play that many minutes though. So I said that was a theory. I don't think it happens. As for Dwight though, he's a coin toss. This one I can't even answer. If we have to, I say he's replaceable. It sucks because he played so well, but he's replaceable. They have their core.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree because he showed that he could still do work, right? He could still do damage, but the Lakers did win basically kind of. I mean, I want to say they won without him. There was some series where they needed him, and there was some where they didn't.
It was weird. The Heat, he lost minutes against the Heat.
Yeah,
it was
a roller coaster. He had to go back and forth, really. Like he didn't play at all, really, against Miami.
That's why I feel like that last series will push the Lakers to the let him go area.
Yeah, I agree. I think hopefully he showed enough for other teams to want him again, and I mean, hopefully he gets paid handsomely for what he's worth. You know, he's definitely not gonna get the same numbers he used to get 10 years ago, but
solid.
No, hopefully he finds a solid paycheck because I think he deserved it. I mean, he showed that he could be distraction free, especially in a city like LA and with big names. And yeah, I mean he did exactly what he said he was going to do. So I hope he gets paid.
So I'm going to get two that I believe are going to be quick ones out the way now. J.R. Smith, gone.
Yeah, hopefully he retires.
Off the ring.
I mean, yeah, I mean, he wasn't really playing basketball for the whole season, a whole year, so it seemed like nobody really wanted him. So he'd probably be
Jared Dudley now, veteran presence, but I say either retire or he's gone either way because I say they lose Dwight Howard. So they need their backup to be somebody that can actually play. No offense to Jared Dudley.
No, true. Very true.
If you lose Dwight, which I think they will, their backup can't be somebody like Jared Dudley, a veteran presence.
Yeah.
So we got two debatable ones here.
I think he should retire because he's been in the league for over 10 plus years.
Just got the ring.
Yeah, he finally got a championship, so why not finish? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, if he feels like he got some more left in him, but whatever.
That's true. So next is Rajon Rondo. This is tough and very valuable to him. I say they do whatever they can to keep him. And a lot of people say he's gone. To me, I feel like part of him wants to stay to keep winning rings.
Mm-hmm.
But part of me also thinks he won the ring already. Again, he could chase a bag. It's very 50-50. I'm going to get your opinion first. What do you got to say?
Well, I mean, so me personally, I want him to stay. I hope they sign him. Yeah. And he remains on the team because he's the point guard leader they need. Because there's gonna be times where LeBron can't always handle the ball and run point, even though he's not supposed to. Rondo's good at spearheading things from the point guard position on defense side too, locking down, getting steals, leading to buckets. I mean, he proved it, right? I really want him to stay, but he's kind of become a journeyman the past 5 years or so. It kind of seems like he doesn't really mind going different places depending on what he's getting paid. And now he's a 2-time champ, so it's not like he's chasing a championship either.
That's true. Your points are valid.
Yeah, it's tough. I probably see him going to the team that pays him the most money, though. I don't really think I really don't think he has a love to stay in LA. I really don't. He hasn't shown that at all. He's more about business. It looks like to me.
It makes sense.
It really cares about his family's money and what production he does on the floor. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, to me it's close, 50-50. But if I had to choose, I say he stays. The city of LA is a nice one. The pandemic's gonna end soon. He fits in this team well. I feel like he likes it, but who knows, man? Isaiah, you make some great points either way. And last but not least, Markieff Morris. I say he gets a big bag. His value increased solely because of this playoffs. Before the playoffs, I wouldn't have said anything. But I say he gets a big bag somewhere else, and the Lakers got to say bye. Your thoughts?
Yeah. Nah, I think you're right. He definitely showed how he could contribute, right? Even when you thought there wasn't any room for more contribution because the name's already on that team, he came in, was a late addition, and he helped play really good minutes when it mattered most. He probably will get looked upon from various different teams in free agency. So he probably will be gone. Which honestly I'm not mad at because he did help, but I'm still not really the biggest Morris Twin fan. But
It's not a damn it, we lost him kind of player.
Nah, not really. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone.
Yeah, so that's it for the unrestricted free agents for the Lakers. Next week, we're going to talk about who they should target. I've heard rumors about Derrick Rose. Should they not? I'll get into that next week with Isaiah. Thanks for tuning in to the 70213 Lakers podcast. Don't forget to follow Franchise Sports Media at The Franchise LV. That's on Instagram and Twitter. The Franchise LV, capital T, capital F, capital LV. See y'all next week from Kyle and Isaiah.